Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly benchmarking contributors link. Today is September 4th. Please add yourself to the attendees and add any topics that you have to open topics or under the respective section. Let's get started. Let me pull the V0.2 tracking. So we are at 25%, but I think some of these uh, are ready to go in, and probably a couple of issues I think we can move out of the milestone. Probably the Triton one and the rounds per user. I'll move these out. So we don't have someone to actually work on this. Okay, I think we can go from the top. Um, on tracing support, any updates, Aishwarya?
Yeah, so I think the issue was because of so I was using a small model and the context length was like 8192 for it, and there were a few traces had which were expecting a context length of 14K. So it was because of that. I am yet to try out a bigger model, and that's what, like, I need some time for it. So I think once that's done, I think we can close this.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's mainly testing that is left.
Yeah, correct. I actually debugged everything, so the traces are being correctly replayed. So I don't see any issue in the code. It's mostly due to the context length issue. I just need to confirm it by testing it with a bigger mod.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, for the milestone, we are looking to see what we can get in this week or early next. So, do you think we can have the initial version in the next few days?
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. I think Jason was reviewing. Jason, you can take another look. Uh, Once it is ready, we can merge that.
Yeah, one thing uh, for your testing, you might be able to use the Python Echo server that I had in the issue for load testing instead of actually against the model server, just to simulate that the load gen is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, if we can share a pointer to that, Jason,
Yeah.
that would be useful.
Yeah, adding it right now. Put it under the tracing bullet point.
Okay, thanks. Cool. Also looks like the PR isn't linked to the issue. If we can add a
It doesn't. I
reference
see.
there. Yeah, that'll be
I'll
good. Cool. Automatic request rate sweep. Jason, I know you are looking into this.
Yeah, this one is in progress. I have to rebase it onto my most recent load gen changes, but I'm hopeful that I have a PR up for this tomorrow.
Sounds good. Let's move on to the timer to be set on request. I know she has started looking into this. I'll check with him to see if he has any update on that. And for this one, populating Hugging Face token, I saw changes out. I reviewed this. I think some more changes are needed, but should be able to merge this sometime today or tomorrow. That's good to know. And this one, I saw a change from Radhika. Yeah, probably the PR is not linked here. But yeah, I think we, yeah, Jason, if you can nudge her to see, she can address some of the review comments. We can see if we can merge this to the next couple of days.
Okay.
TGI, yeah, I think Shreya has a change. Should be ready to merge.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll link the PR to this issue.
Yeah, look into that. Thanks. I think the metrics, query duration. Yeah, someone had a comment about what is actually missing. Yeah, Jason, if you can take a look and respond to them.
Yep.
Yeah. But I don't think it's a critical bug for us to address in 0.2, right? Or do we, it would be good to have this?
Yeah, I'll try and confirm. I think I looked and I did confirm what they were saying, but I have to go back and actually test it because on my side I was seeing it cut off arbitrarily at the like requested duration as opposed to the response duration.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Cool. That's mainly the issues we are tracking. Let's look at the new issue triage. Strongly defined module dependency chain. I think Brendan created this.
Yeah, this one's mostly just some minor cleanup. I tried to introduce some abstractions in the Prometheus client or the Prometheus metrics client, just so that we can cut down on some of the bloat in the model server implementations, because it's back to like we're defining like we have to define individual queries on each of the individual for every single metric. So I just sort of introduced a wrapper class that does sets of queries for each one. But yeah, so I tried to put that abstraction into the model server metrics client, and because the Prometheus client depends on the model server client, it created a circular dependency. So just some cleanup there.
Makes sense. Yeah, this actually, yeah, overall looks good to me. Does it make sense for others too? Basically, I think Brendan is moving the stage runtime info and the metrics metadata out into this new metrics client, right? This is a separate one. Or we already have this client, but you're moving it out of LoadGen and the model server client, right?
Yeah, nothing really functional in this change. It's mostly just some cleaning up.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think as long as this is well tested, I think we should be able to watch this. Cool. Thanks for adding that. Remove the needs triage label. So Meadows the only one underneath triad side. Others we already went through. Let's quickly look at the open PRs. So this one, I'm already reviewing that. Reuse prompts in ShareGPT. Do you want to
Yep.
briefly talk about this, Brendan?
Yeah, sure thing. So this is an issue that we're running into with some of the with runs that are sending enough prompts that we exhaust the data set. So the way we're handling it, so the way we're doing data gen right now is we are just iterating through the entire data, iterating through the ShareGPT or CNN Daily Mail data sets, and if we hit the end of the list, we throw a stop iteration, or we throw an exception. So all this change does is it makes it so that we're reusing the prompts. It does, so instead of iterating through the list and looping back on itself, I made it so that it randomly selects a prompt and it from a pre-filtered data set. The problem with this is, and I talked a bit about this with Jason yesterday, is that it does add a little bit of overhead at the very start, about 2 minutes or so, like I've seen about 2 minutes or so extra just for pre-processing. So I wouldn't say this one is ready to merge yet.
Yeah, there is additional overhead. Makes sense. If there is additional overhead, I would think a little bit more about what we are mainly getting out of it. Right? Is it mainly when you send a lot more requests, you can keep going instead of stopping at the end?
So, oh, sorry, repeat that, my signal.
Yeah, I was asking, is the main thing we are getting out of it being able to continue to send prompts even when we reach the end? Is that right?
Exactly. It just avoids the stop iteration. The stop iteration exception. We do get a benefit with the pre-filtering is that, like, if you have a input and output distribution that sort of filters the data set down to 0 entries, then it'll fail fast.
Yeah, but currently outside of the max and mint tokens, we aren't really supporting the other ones yet, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this does set us up to support those, but we don't support those yet.
Okay.
My 2 cents on this one. I like these abstractions, and I think that they should be applied in a more generic way to Hugging Face data sets. Specifically, I think we talked last time about having like an efficient reader for remote or local. So I think in general, some of those abstractions should go into like a larger change around reading data sets either remotely from Hugging Face or locally. Because like the alternative shorter version of getting around this is just reinitializing the HF data set via its load call and starting again from the beginning. But like there's probably larger things we need to tackle, like seeded random and like configurable seeded random sampling of the data set.
Agree. Yeah, a lot of the changes in here are essentially just what gets us around the stop iteration error. But yeah, like a lot of things, Jason's, I sort of stopped before that point.
Yeah. In this case, can we not just like a circular list go back to the start?
We could. That was one of the options I considered. I decided against it just for the time being, just because if we do input a data if we do have input and output distributions that do filter that list down to 0, then we'll essentially just keep iterating indefinitely.
We're using the remote Hugging Face data set, right? So we're not currently storing, we're just iterating over it. So this change also does the pre-processing, which is 2 minutes, but I worry a little bit by enabling that to be the default behavior, because there will be people who come to use the tool one time to run it for 30 seconds and wonder why it's taking 5 minutes to run a 30-second benchmarking run.
Yeah, that's my main concern as well, right? If they specify different distribution that they want to make sure it handles, then it might make sense. But otherwise, if we just don't want to stop at the end, I would rather do something which doesn't add additional 2-minute overhead, right? Especially a lot of people are using for like quicker testing too, where if it just waits for 2 minutes, people won't be happy about it. Okay. Yeah, so I would say let's see if we can make a smaller change for now to get over the stop iteration issue, and then as a part of a bigger change to support the distribution for different data sets. Let's think about how we can only selectively enable this, like Jason was saying.
Sounds good.
Cool. We're looking at the open PRs. Improve efficiency and readability of random data generators. Yeah, someone basically refactored the code a bit in data generators. So yeah, if people have time, please take a look. It seems fairly okay. The only thing is lack of testing makes me a little nervous of some of these refactoring, right? We don't want to break anything. So yeah, for now we'll make sure through the review we can catch anything, but it would be good to add tests in general sooner. So if anyone has time to take a padding test, feel free to create an issue or add yourself as the assignee there. Yeah, this one is another refactoring change. So it's fairly simple. We just ask them to rebase so that they can pick the type check issue that we were failing with. Otherwise, that one is simple enough to merge. The dataset change we already talked about. Brendan's refactoring on the dependencies also is something we talked about. And the TGA one we talked about as well. Yeah, I think on the type check, I fixed it separately. So actually, if we can just rebase, I think we should be good to merge this.
Yeah. I wanted to call one thing out. So if a TGI, TGI doesn't support a model name filter or a model name label in its metrics. So yeah, I've kind of handled that, but yeah, that means consecutive or simultaneous runs, concurrent runs, sorry, wouldn't like we won't be able to like differentiate between the metrics at a model level.
Okay, yeah, that's probably okay for now. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and I don't think as many people are running things simultaneously on their benchmarking. They're probably using one, but
Correct.
mainly the multi-model cases is where this might come in handy. But yeah, unless someone is actually actively running it and wants support for that, it should be good for now.
That's it.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, I think those are all the ones. The trace load gen is also something we talked about already. Going back here, I think we briefly discussed last time we can do v1.0 before KubeCon. So after 0.2 is out, probably early next week, the next release, I'm thinking we can do like a proper GA release where we have additional testing and make sure all of it is in a good spot, plus some more important features that we have. Maybe we can target towards the end of October in time for KubeCon in early November. Since like Sachin and Brendan have a talk on inference perf, and there is another one on benchmarking in general, it would be good for us to get to 1.0 release and talk about it to people at KubeCon. Any thoughts? What do people think about that? Cool. I see thumbs up. Yeah, then I would say it would be good to target that, because I think we have ironed out most of the issues and this pretty feature rich at this point. Support for multiple models over metrics and all that. Maybe a couple more things we might need to add. But yeah, main thing would be like making sure we have like proper load tests and some real testing scenarios that we cover as part of our CI/CD. So we'll see how we can address those. Cool. Any other topics from anyone?
I'm adding it back to the previous recently merged, but just PSA that this change went in for reducing the CPU utilization of workers in load gen. It's a little bit of an architecture change to move away from some of the queues that were being used to inform workers of their state to using multi-processing events as barriers to state in workers. Beyond that, that's about it. We introduced multi-processing value, which brought down likely the ceiling for max QPS to like 15K, which was in one of the comments, the end comment for testing. But this is just a heads up that load gen changed pretty significantly again. So if there's any questions or anything about this, let me know.
Yeah, thanks for addressing this issue, Jason. Yeah, this significantly improves the CPU utilization issue that we are seeing with these different workers. I think Jason added some data here with different workers, however, scheduling delay looks, and also how we are able to get like reproducible results in terms of time to first token and other latency that are good across runs. Yeah, this was a bug that some folks in Red Hat who are trying this out raised, saying when there are a lot of workers and lower QPS, there is some CPU overhead, which is actually sometimes leading to inaccurate results. So yeah, it's a good fix to have. Yeah, one follow-up we can have is like, yeah, make sure we can capture the multiprocess architecture in detail, maybe in a separate documentation. So yeah, people know how this works.
V1, I promise.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll also I also want to improve some of the documentation that we have, since there has been a lot more things that has gone in. So I'll probably send out some PRs so we have better coverage. Cool. All right, anything else from anyone?
One more feature request for V1, possibly. I know we have reports at the moment, but we could also involve a bit more visual comparison of metrics. Yeah, something around some kind of notebooks or some kind of tool to compare different reports.
Yeah, this makes sense. I think we should be able to expand on this. One thing we have now is like the analysis part that I added to visualize the different latency values. But I think we
Yes.
can, expand the analyze part to compare different runs and also do more here. Maybe like for model server metrics, we don't have, we don't produce charts today. For example, KV cache utilization or queue size and so on. So we can improve this. Like you said, it would also be a notebook where people can run through this in one flow where they can generate the different results. Would be good.
Makes sense. I'll create a issue for that.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ajay. All right. Anything else? Okay. But we'll see you all next time. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.